Good morning. Hope you're doing well, or evening, whatever time of day that you are listening. Today, we are going to talk about limiting beliefs and are they holding you back? Tony Robbins says beliefs have the power to create, the power to destroy. Human beings have the awesome ability to take any experience of their lives and create a meaning that is disempowering to them or can literally save their life. You pick. Limiting beliefs have more negative impact on your life than any other factor. After all, most of us are pretty rational people, right? We're not going to spend a lot of time on something that we believe is doomed for failure. Why would you? Why would you even try to lose weight if you genuinely believe that everyone in your family was destined to be overweight, right? Think about it that way. We all carry around numerous limiting beliefs. They come from a variety of sources, as well as from our own interpretation of the world around us. Humans can help but learn, right? They can't help but learn. But sometimes we learn things that are inaccurate. That's why here on the Productive Not Busy podcast, we are going to teach you how to make more money, have less stress, more free time. You're going to be able to do whatever you want with a plan, with confidence. So let's go.
You're listening to the Productive Not Busy podcast, where our mission is to make you more money so you'll have less stress and more free time. It's all about mindset, attitude, and taking action. And your host, Wayne Weathersby, knows how to make that happen. He's negotiated and closed over $150 million in contracts while building businesses with proven success strategies that he wants to share with you. So if you're ready to make some real money, then let's get to it. Here's Coach Wayne.
Fortunately, you can eliminate limiting beliefs and replace them with beliefs that empower you. Imagine replacing limiting beliefs with one that makes life easier, enables you to be more successful. How would you feel? It's important to follow a plan or a process. Most things in life are like baking a cake. I use that analogy all the time. If you do all the right things in the right order, in the end, you'll get a cake. It's impossible to have any other result. Likewise, by following a process, you can banish your limiting beliefs. Processes can be a wonderful thing. For example, if you have an effective process for getting up and getting ready in the morning, you'll never be late for work. If you have a healthy process for deciding what to eat, you're likely pretty healthy. So, what is limiting belief? For our purposes here, here's our definition. A limiting belief is one that causes life to be less than completely satisfying. You might believe that you can't be a doctor, but if you have no interest in becoming a doctor, what's the harm? There's no point in dealing with a belief like that because eliminating it isn't going to have a positive impact on your life. Focus your energy where it can have the greatest impact. The beliefs that you can't be a doctor is not a limiting belief based on our definition. So, limiting beliefs are those beliefs that restrict desirable options or for your happiness. Consider that if all your beliefs were 100% accurate, you would be able to have nearly anything you've ever wanted in life. Believing the right things has a huge impact on the level of your success and your happiness. So, how limiting beliefs affect your life? Limiting beliefs have a profound effect on your life. By the end of this podcast, you'll see just how pervasive they really are. They affect our lives in so many ways, and none of them are good. If you can eliminate the 5 most limiting beliefs that you possess, your life would forever change for the better. Guaranteed. One of the main ways that limiting beliefs have a significant negative impact on our lives is that they short circuit the success process that follows, right? Number one is you decide clearly what you want. It's tough to accomplish something meaningful if you don't identify it first. Number two is you got to do something to make it happen. It takes action to attain any goal. Some people claim that you can actually practically wish a Porsche into your driveway without lifting a finger. But the real truth is that some action is required, I promise. You'll have to do something to accomplish meaningful anything. Adjust your approach as you gain new expertise. You might not know at first to realize the perfect path. If it's not working, do something else. Approach your base your approach on your results, right? Number four, you're going to keep going until you're successful. Don't quit. Most people quit right before they hit success. If you kept improving your approach and never gave up, how could you possibly fail? It's a simple process, but frequently the simple processes can get you where you want to be. We spend so much time figuring ways to work around our faulty beliefs. If you have limiting belief, you may stumble up on step number two, right? As we stated earlier, most people won't take any action that they think is doomed for failure. That sucks. We think to ourselves, oh, why bother? Right? Why bother? Well, that's exactly how limiting beliefs get in our way. Frequently, people are unable to even complete step four. Most of us decide too quickly that something doesn't work. And as soon as you believe it won't work, you're unlikely to continue. You won't even try. There's a guy in the real estate community who makes a great living buying and selling houses, and he frequently has to make over 100 offers to get one accepted, right? How many offers would you make before you decided that it didn't work and you didn't want to do it anymore? Achieving big things usually requires time and effort. Frequently, that effort needs to be intelligent and calculated, as opposed to lower your head and plow ahead type of effort. It takes time and experience to put forth the proper effort. Guaranteed. You can't do this with a limiting belief in any way. Besides preventing your success, limiting beliefs also negatively affect your life in other ways. Right? Limiting beliefs will kill your experience of living. You will do fewer things over the course of your life when you're constricted by your limiting beliefs. Imagine what your life would be like without any of these limiting beliefs that you have in your head right now. Surely it would be fuller, richer, and more appealing. And no matter how great your life is right now, it would be better. You intentionally harm those around you with your limiting beliefs. Even with the best of intentions, you affect others with your limiting beliefs. You'll likely teach your children false ideas that limit their ability to grow and even affect your friends with misinformation because you're trying to protect them. See, you fail to grow fully as a human being if you do this. It can be useful to view life with the purpose of eliminating a limiting belief and experiencing everything in the world that appeals to you. If you could do those two things, what kind of life could you have lived over the course of your past? Right? So what path are you on right now? That's where you have to start. Too many people live in the past. You'll be inefficient for sure if you do that. Limiting beliefs cause us to find an alternate path every time. If we look for a path at all, if we don't believe the best route will work for us, we spend a lot of time following a less direct path in an effort to work around our limiting belief. Save some time and deal with the limiting belief instead. So you ask, how can you tell if limiting belief is false? Well, obviously, there are some things that are essentially impossible. A 50-year-old man that's never played basketball won't become a professional basketball player. So some limiting beliefs are accurate, and it would be silly to argue otherwise. However, most of our limiting beliefs are inaccurate. A limiting belief could be false if this happens. It's not based on experience. If your belief isn't based on an actual personal experience, it's likely false. Now, to a large extent, if you don't know what you can do and can't do until you try, right? Many times you might have to make 100 attempts or more to figure out. It's not based on physical limitation. Like our basketball example, there are things we physically can't do. You can't lift 5,000 pounds over your head. You can't flap your arms and fly. That's not what we're talking about here. Limiting beliefs are pervasive in our lives, for sure. You probably are aware of many of them, but many sneak into your thinking pattern. Limiting beliefs come from a variety of sources. Some of these sources might surprise you. Many of the sources are actually trying to help us. So don't blame them. They simply believed the wrong thing. Here's a couple. Family. Most of our families really mean well, but many of our limiting beliefs come from our family and sources of our family. What do they call it? The suggestibility, the comments from our, that comes from our family can vary. Maybe your mom told you you couldn't run track in high school because you're too heavy. So now you believe that you could never be a runner. Maybe your dad said no one in the family ever went to college. So you believe it's not a possibility for you to go to college. Maybe you grew up in a lifestyle that was economically challenged. So you decided that being wealthy was absolutely not an option for you. If you listen to the media, that's what they say, right? That's another source. If you grew up in poverty, you have no chance. Well, that's not true. Then you got your friends. Much like our families, friends can do and say things that lead us to believe that we're less capable than we really are. Keep keep in mind now that many of our friends don't want to see others do better than they have it, right? So they're going to say things to keep you from doing it so they don't look bad. And that happens. Other people tend to unintentionally push their limiting beliefs on other people. Teachers can have a lot of influence on us as well. We're hearing a lot about that in the news right now. When we're younger, they're most like our parents, right? Later on, they're almost like our boss. Teachers are people too. Some of them have their stuff together and some of them don't. So be careful. And then we have our own interpretation of events. In many ways, this is possibly the only real source of our limiting beliefs, right? It should be because you shouldn't let friends, family, and teachers have that much influence on your life, but it happens, right? So, for instance, it's not really what your parents said to you, it's your interpretation of what they said to you, or your interpretation of what the teacher said, or the interpretation of what the media wants you to believe. For example, if your parents said you'll never be able to get into college, you could believe that they've said it is true, or you could believe it. They don't know what they're talking about, right? You can do whatever you want. Anyone or anything else that comes to mind can give you a limiting belief. Books, internet, news, movies, whatever, all have the opportunity to give us pause and doubt. Consider all the sources of information and opinions in your life. It's crazy. They all had the opportunity to steer you in the wrong direction. To change anything, you must identify it. It's important to stay relevant. We all have tons of limiting beliefs, but the truth is that many of them are irrelevant. Only worry about the limiting beliefs that are going to have the greatest impact. When you've dealt with those, you can deal with the others. So, part of being successful is focusing on the most important issues in your life. Remember to keep that in mind when you go through the process of discovering what your limiting beliefs are. Make a list of the areas in your life where you feel challenged. If you have an area in your life that displeases you and you're not actively doing something to fix it, then it's pretty good bet that you have a limiting belief. Otherwise, doesn't it make sense that you be doing something to change the situation? Your behavior is an indicator of your beliefs. So consider how you're doing in the following areas. Here's the ones that I wrote down. Finances. Are you feeling financial pressure in your life? Do you have all the things you need or really want? How much money do you have in your savings account? Do you have the income you desire? And is that income secure? Next, I wrote down relationships. Are your relationships satisfying? Consider your intimate relationship as well as your relationships with your family, friends, and coworkers. Is there something in there that needs attention? Next, health. Are you taking good care of yourself? Are you doing you? How's your weight? Too light? Too heavy? Do you go to the doctor regular for checkups to make sure everything else is okay? Next is fun and slash adventure, whatever you want to call it. Are you doing the things that you really want to do? Do you dream of going to Europe but haven't done it? Why? Do you want to learn to play the piano but never have? Why not? Most people say, oh, I don't have time. Okay, well, there is your limiting belief. Fix it, time block it, make it happen. It's that easy. Any other aspect of your life in which you're experiencing dissatisfaction, think about any other area where you're less than thrilled. If you're not pleased with it, a limiting belief is the cause. Identify the beliefs that are contributing to your challenges. Make a list of all your beliefs, good and bad. Regarding the challenges that you've identified above, don't attempt to filter them as positive or negative while doing this process. Just get them all listed as you brainstorm and examine, and so you can examine them later. Right? Here's a short example, for money. Right? Number one, making over 100K a year is really hard. I'll never be wealthy. Rich people suck. They cheat. I'll never have enough money to have a nice house. If I'm rich, people will try to steal from me. My friends will treat me differently if I have a lot of money. I'm going to get taxed more. I'm going to be paying for freeloaders, all the fun stuff. Can you see why it would be difficult to have a lot of money if you believe these things? Right. So I want you to identify the beliefs that are holding you back. Think about all the beliefs are having the greatest negative impact on your life. One way to do this is to consider how your behavior would change if that belief were eliminated from your life. Got it? Don't just guess which beliefs are most damaging. Really examine it and consider the change that your life would experience if you weren't held back by that belief. Now, put those negative beliefs in order. Start with the limiting belief that you feel is creating the most challenge in your life. Put them in order from belief having the greatest negative impact to the least. And it makes sense to spend your time where it's going to do the most good. Prioritizing your time is always valuable in anything. Now that you have a list of your limiting beliefs and have them in order, it's time to start dealing with them. So how do you eliminate limiting belief? So here's 7 steps that I put together to banish a limiting belief. Read the belief out loud and ask yourself, do I really know what this is about? Is this true? Have you experienced this yourself enough times to be confident that it is true? Remember, you can't accurately draw conclusions from a limited number of experiences. If it happened to you one time, do you really know that this belief is true without a shred of a doubt? Or do you come up with this belief? For example, did your limiting belief about money come from your mom and dad? Was your mom and dad, were they wealthy people? If she wasn't at the time, then she's not a reliable source of information on telling you if it's a good or bad thing. After all, an expert on money would be able to have lots of it. If someone hasn't had a lot of money, then they don't really know how to accumulate it or what it takes to have it. Consider whether or not the source of your belief is a valid source. And then you pull the people that are valid into your world, right? If you want to be a millionaire and know how to do it, you need to hang around millionaires. Your broke buddy on the corner at the park bitching about not having enough money for cigarettes is not a good source. Your belief should come from your own experiences and from the advice of experts. That's it. Your dad wasn't a great college student. You can find better source of information about college and how college life is. Any other source of information should be kind of considered suspect. Always rely on experts. They are easy to find with a little bit of research. After all, there is no reason to take stock tips from a homeless person. Simply state to yourself, if I choose not to believe this anymore, it's not true. It might sound kind of bullshitty, but stating your intentions has a profound effect. Stating them out loud. Look for supporting evidence. For some reason, there are examples on why limiting beliefs are false, and you'll find them. The person that told me this doesn't really know. I've never actually tried it for myself. I've seen others that are less capable than me be successful at this, right? Find evidence, just like a detective. At the very least, you should feel a sense of doubt about that limiting belief. If you don't, then keep on coming up with more reasons. Get online, read some articles by someone that you feel is truly an expert on the topic of what you believe. For example, find somebody and search for examples that this belief is false. Imagine how much your life would change if you didn't have this belief in your life. Create a new belief that serves you. You have a choice. This will be the opposite of the limiting belief, or at least something along those lines. Create a belief that will improve your life and support your ability to take action to make your life better. Find examples to support this belief. Any belief will be more stable if it's supporting information and there's evidence. Really try to prove that it's true. Imagine that you had to prove to someone that your new belief is accurate. That should get you where you need to be. Then you got to measure every day. Every day, check yourself. How do you feel about your new belief? How do you feel about your old belief? Check your gut. I'm telling you, it's a direct link to your subconscious. Is your behavior changing? If your beliefs change, the way you act and feel will change too. Our lives and feelings are a manifestation of our beliefs. If your beliefs have really changed, your life will change as well. Plain and simple. Go back to your list of limiting beliefs. Keep working on your list of the negativity. Work through those items and continue to add new items to it. You'll find that you'll discover new limiting beliefs as you start making progress in your life. As you experience new things, new limiting beliefs will show up, I promise. These are beliefs that you didn't know you had until this point. So as you set new goals, new challenges will present themselves. Absolutely, 100%. As you learn and experience more, your objectives change. So the limiting beliefs will have to change too. So maybe you'll decide 10 years from now that you want to be a doctor. Any limiting beliefs that you had about being a doctor before would have then been addressed. Continue examining your life for limiting beliefs and eliminating them. It's like pulling weeds. No matter what you do, some weeds always pop up over and over and over again. Simply recognize them and get rid of them. Then you got to repeat all these steps on a regular basis. It takes action, attitude, and approach. As you set new goals or have new challenges in your life, repeat the process. It would be a great idea to sit down once a week and make a new list. If you did that, you'd be unstoppable. So, in conclusion here, limiting beliefs really do put our lives in a stranglehold. They can lead us to beliefs that we have limited options to deal with our challenges or that we're limited in doing anything new. These beliefs have profound negative consequences, and eliminating them is one of the best things that you can do for yourself. Our limiting beliefs come from a variety of sources, right? I told you that. Friends, family, teachers, neighbors, media, our own interpretation of the world, and even things that happen in our lives. In many cases, the source of limiting beliefs truly had our best interest at heart. The people around us have a significant effect on us, and they meant well, but they're just not doing well. By examining those beliefs and asking ourselves some key questions, we can eliminate them. Unless we've experienced something numerous times or we have the advice of an expert, we don't really have the knowledge to make an accurate judgment on something. Be selective about who you listen to and who you believe. Installing a new empowering belief is similar to installing a limiting belief, except the process has intentions behind it. A new belief needs evidence to support it before it can be believed. A new belief will leave clues in the form of new behaviors and different results. Measuring yourself and your life is important for sure. 100%. The measurement process is critical, both to see if the new belief is in place and if it is indeed an empowering belief. So, by systematically going through all of your limiting beliefs, it's possible to dramatically improve your life. Always remember that new limiting beliefs will occur over time. And it's important to check yourself for these new limiting beliefs so they don't get out of hand. Life can be relatively easy and simple, but that's up to you. Deal with your mental obstacles, and you'll see those are the biggest obstacles that you have. Look at your limiting beliefs, and really your life will never be the same. Prioritize, strategize, and take action. Hope you found this helpful. You guys take care, be safe, sell a bunch, and say something nice to somebody.
You've been listening to the Productive Not Busy podcast with Coach Wayne. Join us next time for more money-making strategies to help you have less stress and more free time. Follow us on Facebook at Productive Not Busy, on Instagram at frontline.coach.wayne, and on Twitter at Wayne New Jr. And remember, be productive, not busy.